Good morning, lovely humans. I have been making some changes lately that frankly have made my life a lot better, and I want to share them with you in case they can make your life better.
Caring, sharing.
So today we're going to have a little vloggy vlog with how things have been going and how I got there. So I am going to the gym this morning, but I've been going a little bit less. No, that's not a bad thing. I'll explain, don't worry. Basically, it is garden season. And as always, I take on more gardening projects than I probably should at once. And I have a lot of vegetable seeds that I need to get in the ground before it gets too hot. So I have traded out some of my workouts for garden day workouts because if you have never worked in the garden, oh my gracious, it is a beast. Today I have a couple things I have to take care of first, which you might hear in the background. And then I'm going to go to the gym and show you what I'm working on in my garden. Oh, hey, get back here. Ma'am, I did not let you out yet. Got her. All right. I would like to introduce you guys to someone new who currently is apparently an escape artist. Hey, I'm working on it. I will get you breakfast. Hold on. Get a big old ham. Oh my goodness. Oh. Those of you guys who saw the post or the video know that we lost two of our sweet senior babies in one weekend, Ray Liotta and Mittens. And frankly, I've been a train wreck. That's why you haven't seen me post as much. I've just been kind of taking the time to process everything and just kind of cry it out and be a little emo farmy and trying to distract myself with gardening until I felt a little mentally better. We've been trying to give Beto, our one remaining fur baby, some extra attention. And while she is loving that, we can tell that she really does need some playmates. So my husband and I went to Operation Kindness because we were like, okay, we've had some time to grieve, but we know that, Beto's waited long enough. I think she needs someone to have like a little companion with. And frankly, I need more kitty snuggles. But we accidentally came home with a little bit more than we bargained for. So this currently is Misty May. She is 4 years old and very snuggly, very adventurous. But she is actually not the only little fur ball that we came home with.
Wait, what?
And when it comes to pets, it's the senior babies for me. So I would like to introduce you to someone who is only temporarily going to be named Valley Girl, but she's very shy. She's like, why are you pointing this camera at me? Yeah. Oh, she's already purring. So I'm not going to keep a camera in her face for forever because she's still very much getting adjusted. But this little sweetie pie, she is 12 years old. The second I started petting her, she started purring like a motorboat. And she came out of her little kitty bed. She started headbutting me, just like Mittens used to do. She really likes her head rubs. And I was just like, my heart. I miss Mittens so much and Ray Liotta so much. But, sorry, I'm not trying to get all teary on YouTube. Oh, it kind of felt like this little moment of Mittens saying hi to me. Like that little bit of her personality was there and saying, hey, this is the baby you need to take home. So I did. But as it turns out, that's not all. Y'all are gonna think I'm insane.
Because you are.
I haven't lost my mind, I promise. This is not like an over grief adopting, like we actually stopped and thought about this. But this is Belle. She will be getting renamed, but we haven't found the right name for her yet. She's 4 years old. And, oh, that was adorable. And extremely frisky. Never in a million years did I think we'd be coming home with 3 extra cats. It genuinely does seem like all of their different little personalities would mesh together well in this home to where it would be a great fit for all of us as well as for Beto.
1 hour later.
We have finished our workout and now I'm going to do a little bit of self-care. One of the big changes I've been trying to make is actually making myself a priority as well as my health. I feel like it's so easy to just get caught up in the like 9 billion things on my to-do list and completely forget that my health, both like mentally, physically, emotionally, all that, actually matters. So I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional about that. I got my nails done about 1 billion years ago. Like, they are super grown out, as you can see. And for me, getting my nails done is very much self-care, partially just because it's like, oh, it's cute. I feel good about myself. My OCD goes wild. I really struggle to not pick at my face sometimes. Right now, my nose is super red because I've been picking at like random weird nose breakouts. I'm over here looking like Rudolph and I'm like, excuse me. It is not Christmas. I am not a reindeer. It helps when my nails are done because then they're thick enough to where I spit. That was so sexy. But then if my nails are done, they're thick enough to where I can't like shred my face. I'm gonna go and get a little bit cuter so I can feel good and stop looking like Rudolph. I'm feeling fancy. I got my nails all fabulously done, so I feel pretty and can't shred my face, so huzzah, it's a win. But I am starving.
If I don't have some cake soon, I might die.
And I've kind of had to come to terms with the fact that I can't just skim through all of my recipes, pull random stuff out that looks delicious and healthy, and go bananas cooking it all. I just realistically don't have time to go that hardcore all of the time. So I've switched out a couple things. I tend to try and do my meal prep. I was aiming for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was supposed to be directly after work, and my work schedule has been completely irregular, so that kind of went by the wayside. But instead, what I've been trying to do is any weekend where I know I'm off on a Sunday, I order all of my ingredients or go pick them up on a Saturday, and then try to cook as much stuff as possible on Sunday to get me through the week, but in a way where it won't take my entire day. Some stuff is simple, like today, pre-mixed taco salad, but I want to make sure it has a little bit of extra protein. So all I'm going to do is throw some chicken in the air fryer. Anything that I have, even if it's like partially pre-prepped, if it is mostly done at home, it is still going to be 1,000 times healthier than me being like, I'm starving, I haven't prepped anything, let me go through the Wendy's drive-thru. I've also been trying to make sure that anytime I actually do meal prep on those days, at least one of those recipes is a slow cooker recipe. I have a ton of slow cooker cookbooks, so I get to go through those bit by bit. It makes it so much easier just to have one thing that doesn't require a million different dishes that I can just pretty much chunk in there and forget about it. And then instead of just skimming through all my recipes to find my favorite, especially because things in America are insanely expensive right now, I pretty much am rummaging through my fridge, my freezer, and my pantry to see what my staples are that I can make something out of, and then I go hunting for a recipe that's related. It's actually made it so much easier and insanely more cost effective. Allow me to introduce you guys to the project that has been 2 years in the making. My planter boxes complete with the trellises. I am so freaking proud of myself. I bought the lumber literally 2 years ago. I think I actually might have started staining them on this channel in like many bajillions of videos ago. But they gradually started just taking over the garage because it got to be a lot. Because these heifers are supposed to be 12 foot by 2 foot in terms of length and width, and 8 feet tall and framed in. It was a project that I took on a whim and was like, I could just make my planter boxes. I don't need to spend oodles of money for them. I can make them bigger and better. And technically, yes, I could. And did, but it took me 2 years to get there because I had to basically redo my priorities. I've realized that my priorities have just been jacked. Like, everything has been on the back burner for my health. I do everything first. I hunt down new exciting projects, especially for the house, whenever I'm feeling like stressed or overwhelmed, but then I never do them. And it got to the point where I had so many projects in the garage, my husband couldn't even park in there, which is not really fair to him and not cool. So once I realized, I was like, oh, ADHD is not helping me here with this hunt for dopamine. I gave myself a giant change of one big rule. Ooh, bug. And that change is that I am not allowed to buy things for new projects until I finish every single freaking project that I have already bought things for.
And there are so many of them!
This is the biggest one so far, and also the reason we have much more garage space. That's still in progress. They're of course assembled, and God bless my friends who came over and lifted these heifers up and over because I assembled them on the back patio not realizing how heavy they would be. Oops. But over the course of this, I realized something. The dopamine hit that I've been chasing
still comes when I achieve things. I just have to be patient enough and dedicated enough to actually finish them. And I don't know why this never occurred to me before, but it didn't. So me actually finishing these heifers is insane. And I got to feel kind of amazing because I got to learn how to use my circle saw. I already knew how to use my drill. I got to learn how to use a nail gun. And I got to learn how to use a stain sprayer. So I'm over here like, yes, we are strong, independent women. Heck yes. But since they're actually finished in time for growing season, I actually stand a chance of being able to grow some vegetables for my freaking family, and I am so excited. But before I could fill the beds with the dirt and then of course the vegetable seeds, I had to get the liner stapled to the interior. We have one side lined. I still have to trim it because it's a little bit long, and now the other side. Not shown was the 20 minutes I had to spend unjamming the doggone stapler. How dare it. I ran out of the liner right as I got about like 3/4 of the way through the second planter box. However, because it is such a tall liner, I'm hoping that when I trim all the excess, I can just use that to finish off the rest. Fingers crossed. Thankfully, the trimmed bits on the liner worked just fine, so I got the whole thing taken care of, and then I added in cardboard on the bottom just as an extra layer of protection. And we finally progressed to the point where I could add the filling. It might not look like much, but honestly, this was a full body workout. By the end of this, I had done about 1,000,000 squats, and my back freaking hated me because I spent half the day hunched over, basically trying to get all of this taken care of, and of course, to fill it with the mulch. So I have one of the planter bins, I'd say a third of the way filled up, which is wild because that was an eternity of me pulling weeds and like trimming back shrubs and using all of that as like the mulch to fill the bottom. Here's one of the other big changes I'm having to make. I absolutely hate leaving a project unfinished, but it is 5:43, and as much as I want to prioritize my garden and only my garden, and yes, I am beat because that was a beast of a workout collectively, I also know that it is very important for me to actually have a healthy dinner. So instead of doing what I would do normally and just work until my fingers fell off, I'm going to take my butt inside and make dinner. Who is that, Beto? Is that your new friend? She's like, I don't know about that. All right, y'all be nice. Oh, she's getting her little stretchies in. Well, at least no one's lunging. That's a start. She's like, I'm playing coy. I don't know who's over there. Hopefully they'll be friends eventually. So one thing that I have learned is that, yes, it is faster to go get fast food. But when you factor in, if you actually have something that's like semi-quick to bake because, you planned ahead, you actually can have that done in less time than it takes to go through the drive-thru. It's way less calories, and you're gonna feel less crappy after you eat it. I also had like a rough reality check when I did our budget like 2 months ago, and it was that we had a month where we literally spent more money on to-go food than we did on freaking groceries, and I was like, heck nah. Because both of those were too high, let alone together. Traumatized myself into scare tactics that we will not be going out to eat. And literally for that whole next week, I only cooked meals at home. I lost 3 pounds that week. And it was like, no crap, Sherlock, but maybe you should have been doing this forever ago. So better late than never. But currently, I'm making a microwave version of mushroom risotto. You literally stir it with some water and microwave. Easy peasy, risotto squeezy. We're also making some steak, which is really hard to hold your phone. Oh no, I should have used a little bit of oil or something. Okay. Making some steak. We don't have red meat all the time, so I don't really feel any guilt about when we do have it. It's just kind of a here and there. I don't really feel like I'm in some massive danger of like a heart attack because we have so much. Nothing like that at all. But I enjoy it every now and then. I have a little pack that I found at Aldi forever ago that was some sort of like Korean barbecue style sauce that's meant to go with steak. So yes, I would say a lot of this meal is fairly processed because the sauce is already packaged and so is the risotto. And technically the veggies because I'm using a steamer pack. But I'm finding that on this whole journey, if you will, while I would love to have just, whole fresh foods, if it's between having kind of processed foods and super processed of like, I don't know, Taco Bell, I'm going to go with the partially processed because that is still an improvement. Everything that I've been doing so far is just kind of a bit by bit getting better. But I'm just curious. A lot of today has just been, a lot of small mindset changes that have added up for me. How are you guys doing on your getting healthy journey? Are there any like small changes that you've made that ended up having a huge impact? Comment below. Let me know. Dinner was, in fact, delicious, though I'm definitely still figuring out my portion sizes. I needed to go a little bit smaller on the risotto as well as the steak because I actually ran out of room for the vegetables. But it was really nice just to get to sit down and enjoy my dinner and watch a little bit of Susie Todd working in the garden and to enjoy some fresh strawberries. It was a nice night. And we officially have our after dinner walk-in. As I'm sure you lovely humans might be able to hear in the background, my bathtub is currently filling up because I'm going to finally do a little bit of self-care. I've been looking forward to it all day. I'm gonna put on a candle, watch some Columbo because I do at least at some point have to watch something other than Murder, She Wrote.
You can't be serious.
But I just want to say thank you to all of you lovely humans for hanging out with me today. I would love to know where you are in your health and fitness journeys right now, and otherwise I will see you gorgeous people next time. Bye-bye! I am definitely supposed to be in bed right now, but I've been trying to give all the kitties a little bit of extra attention. And little Miss Valley girl, who we're thinking about renaming Cleo, my sweet little senior here, has finally made an appearance from behind the couch. Apparently all I had to do to woo her was provide in this, my nipple, ouch, ma'am. Okay, we've sacrificed both nipples at this point because she really likes to make biscuits, but all I had to do to woo her was pet her head endlessly, and she literally was chasing my hand, much like Miss Mittens, out from that couch. So she's like all down for the attention now. I'm like, oh, she's finally out from behind the couch. Hey, sweetheart. Yeah, and she is purring like a motorboat. Good night.